Hold it. I think you're going to like this picture. Good morning. It's morning here in Hollywood, California. This is Action Jack McClendon, and I'm going to see Brad Pitt. That's the intent anyway. He's making a movie here in Hollywood today, right around here. Tarantino wrote the movie, and we're at Tarantino's movie theater right here. So we're going to get started in an Action Jack adventure right now on YouTube. So this is Quentin Tarantino's theater. He owns this, and this is the new Beverly Cinema. It's one block west of La Brea in Los Angeles. That's where the La Brea tar pits are. And they have matinees and midnights here, and it's from Friday through Sundays. So when you go here, you can go online, you can find out the movies, and they also have printouts of the different movies that they have, and these are classic movies. So up here you see Donnie Brasco and True Grit and Failsafe and The Graduate and Harriet and Maude and The Bully and Marathon Man and The Right Stuff and Point Blank and American Ninja and Suspicion with Cary Grant, Saboteur, The Godfather. So they're classics. Cielo Drive right there, that is where Sharon Tate was murdered. And the other that were murdered there too by Charles Manson. All right, that's what I'm talking about. When you go there, you can get that printout. And Quentin is often there. There's a strict, no microphones. Oh, look, there's Brad Pitt. So this is from the scene when we went to where they're making the movie there in Highland Park, which is between Los Angeles. It's a suburb of Los Angeles on the way to Pasadena there. So this is, not sure what year this is, but this is a spin-off movie that's going to be on Netflix. And this is about the adventures of Clint. It's like the adventures of Action Jack. How do you like that? And that's Brad Pitt's character. Brad Pitt's character, if you saw the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I don't recommend because there's violence in there. But it takes place in 1969, and this is after that. So I think this is in the 70s. But they redid the whole few blocks here in Highland Park, and they put new signs on there. Look at that. See, they got these little clamps on there to make it look like it would have looked in the early 70s. So I'm not sure exactly when this takes place, but it's post the Manson murders. I read that it may be mid-70s. So that would be interesting. They took down the sign here of the movie, so that's gonna come back up. Look at this really nice mosaic here that they have that shows the Highland Theater. And that's an Easter egg, kind of. See that chicken? Brad Pitt made it by wearing a chicken outfit when he first came to Hollywood. And he's very proud of it because he said, doesn't matter what you do as long as it's honest work. It's a great thing to do. So he used to wear a chicken outfit, and he'd do it right off La Brea in Hollywood Boulevard and on the Sunset Strip in downtown Hollywood. And there's the Chicken Boy right there. There's the history of it. This is right off Route 66 too, by the way. See the Route 66? I didn't waste time reading this. I already know enough of it right here. But see that big chicken? So you'll find if you do your research on your search engines that he wore a chicken outfit. So that's some type of Easter egg, pun intended, egg with a chicken with Brad Pitt and this new movie. So I was really excited to see this. Saw the German in Venice, the GIV here. And I think I'm going to drop in a picture too on this, but here it shows that the businesses are open, but it's interesting, there's facades. So if you see a Bank of America, it's really an ice cream store. But he wanted to match it up how it looked like in the early 70s. So they made all these buildings look like the old-fashioned days. And so the prices are really inexpensive, like for the movies, but very expensive when it comes to buying like VCRs and stuff and TV sets. they were really expensive in the day. So there's women's wear, and the women's wear in the store looks just like they did in the early 70s. And then across the street, everything in here has been changed. Isn't that great? So there it talks about making the movie. So I had the last day of making the movie here. So I'm really pleased that I was able to do that. I'm a toad, by the way. Toad is a term that I coined. It stands for turn on a dime. I can turn on a dime. And that's really good because I need to do that for my work, by the way. So there is the movie theater that Brad Pitt was at. I don't know how that would be in the movie, but yeah, here's the prices that they had in the old days. Really ridiculously high, but really inexpensive when it came to seeing a movie and buying popcorn. There's Brad Pitt right there coming out. And I borrowed this picture from somebody who was there. And then there's the movie stands, the newspaper stands that they had in the old days. There's Brad Pitt again. I borrowed that picture too. Here's a old-fashioned telephone booth that they had. So they really went all out, and there bubblegum machines all over there. It's like Cool Hand Luke. And so it's really quite. And here's the theater, the Highland Theater. And this is just
the Highland
at dawn.
Theater.
That's why the skies are dark, because I wanted to get
On
there
the
before the security kicked me out, because the German in Venice, he did a show on this, and they really
wanted
to make sure that he wasn't close, and I got to be very close. So that was really fun. When you live in Southern California, you get to do fun things like that. And right here is where the celebrities have their, look at the bagels, Yeasty Boys. Isn't that cute? So I went there and I wanted to get bagels for my lovely bride, and the guy told me very nicely that I couldn't get them. So they had it for the set or something like that. But he was very, very nice, and I understood, and I got to save money. But Bergie loves bagels, and I was going to get her the works. But Bergie understands. So there you have it. So this is Action Jack saying I'll be back, and it'll be soon, and that's the name of that tune. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up and comment. That really helps a lot. And share. Epilogue, right by Highland Park in Los Angeles, was this church with the nicest people there. But I was here just at sunrise, so they're just getting things together. And I did this to avoid security problems when watching the movie. But Zoe is my biggest fan on the channel, and that's my little niece. And she is 8 years old. So Zoe means life, abundant life in Greek. And it's the equivalent of Hava, which is Eve in English, which comes from the Hebrew, which means abundant life. So there's a church called Zoe. How do you like that? One of the verses I memorized in Greek has to do with Zoe. And they got Zoe kids. So this is my little epilogue. Thanks again for watching the channel. Trying to reach 2,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Thanks for your help. Please subscribe. Look at Zoe's kids right here. This church has a place just for kids. Isn't that nice?